Hello there, this is Retro Spirits Garden, and this is the Astro City mini arcade machine thingamajig by Sega. Because they're celebrating X amount of years in the games industry, so they've released a mini arcade machine with mainly Mega Drive games on it. But hey, let's quickly run through the list of games before we talk about the machine and see what they got. Flicky, Sega Ninja, My Hero. So Space Harrier is great. Panic Zone is pretty good. Wonder Boy is alright, like Quartet 2 is good. Alien Syndrome is great. Wonder Boy Monster Land's cool. Shinobi is awesome. Bottle Beast is alright. Game Ground, Crackdown, no good really. Golden Axe, cool. Esport, no good. Shadow Dancer, no good. Alien Storm is alright. Columns, Mega Drive. Bonanza Brothers, alright. Columns 2, Mega Drive. Thunder Force AC. Rad Mobile, yeah. Cotton, yeah. Arabian Fight, no. Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder, awesome. Puyo Puyo, blah, blah, blah. What else we got? Virtua Fighter is alright. So, quick go through the list there. So, a lot of these games are actually Mega Drive games, which is fairly annoying because there was an arcade version of the Mega Drive, wasn't there? So, you've got like 16 versions of Columns on here, and Columns, depending on whether you like puzzle games or not, is fairly tedious. But here we have the arcade version of Space Harrier, which is alright to control with a D-pad. The arcade machine, obviously, you had like a flight stick, like a yoke. You've got auto fire on one of the buttons. So I'm using a Mega Drive 6-button pad here, which I got with the Mega Drive Mini. You'll find that not all joypads, USB joypads, work with the Astro City. Only the Mega Drive, official 6-button Mega Drive one, maybe the 3-button one does as well. But the official 6-button Mega Drive one from the Japanese version of the Mega Drive Mini works with this. Other than that, you'd have to buy the official joypads or joystick. And the joypads are about 35 to 40 quid each. They look kind of cool. They look a bit difficult to hold. I didn't buy the joypads. And the arcade stick you can't get at all from anywhere ever unless you want to spend 300 quid. It looks like a quality device, and that apparently does work with your PC, etc. Anyway, Space Harrier here is a Stone Cold classic, and you can reverse the controls from reverse to normal in terms of flying your little Harrier around the screen, which is groovy. The only thing I would say about this game is the sound effect for the laser is fairly in your face, especially when the rapid fire is turned on. You've got 2 save data slots for each game, which is slightly mean, I believe. And 4 on the Mega Drive Mini. You get 2 on here. But, I mean, they give you the option to save your game, so stop complaining. The unit itself is, I would say, probably about 20 centimeters tall. It's got a nice screen in it, and it's got a nice joystick on it, with clicky joystick. The buttons are pretty cool. I don't really use it in arcade machine mode. I always plug it with HDMI to my monitor. And some of the games exhibit some shimmering artifacts, like Wonder Boy here, which also has an incredibly repetitive music track. It plays throughout the whole game from what I understand. I mean, I can't get very far into this game. I was never a Wonder Boy fan back in the day. It's quite a cool game, actually. I don't mind it on here, but the soundtrack is maddening. So yeah, you're going to need like a proper Mega Drive 6-button mini pad, or buy one of the expensive peripherals to play this on a TV, which is... I suppose you can use a joystick though. I should try that out. Maybe you can use the joystick and buttons on a TV if you've got a long enough HDMI lead. Shoot the snake. Watch out for the rock! This is also known as Adventure Island, isn't it, if you've got a PC engine. And then the engine version of this game is pretty good. And also the Super Nintendo version is pretty good. Oh, killed by a snail. That was a pretty big snail though, so you can see why it would hurt you. He's almost as big as a human. Okie dokie. Get the doll. Lovely. Kill the frog. Yeah, the console itself is fairly difficult to come by. I had to get mine from a specialist retailer. I can't remember where it was now. It wasn't Amazon, it was somewhere else. And it was about 150 quid, which is a lot of money. And I mainly bought it because of the Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder was on here. You had Virtua Fighter on here, which most people like. I don't necessarily like it. So the weird thing is, I kind of bought it a bit blind, and I do regret it slightly. Although the build quality of the machine is nice, and some of the games are cool, a lot of the games are fairly shit. That's a bit of a brutal way of saying subpar. Alien Syndrome here is one of my favourite top-down running guns, but they've balked it slightly. Because the rapid fire is so rapid, instead of getting an even bullet pattern coming out of your character, they fire all the bullets that they can get on screen in one go. There you go, therefore leaving you open to alien attack, which is not where you want to be in a space station full of aliens. And also, the ROM of this, I think is the Japanese version, because you have to rescue every single person in the space station to advance to the next stage. So it is actually more difficult than the version I'm used to, which is potentially the European version, which lets you decide whether you want to rescue everybody or not. You have to rescue a certain amount of people, and then the exit will open. Whereas in this, you have to pick up every last mother-fudging one of these encased in gunk people before the exit will open, which is slightly annoying. But I've always enjoyed this game, and it works pretty well on here, apart from the rapid fire option, which they've sort of slightly knackered the game with. It's alright if you've got the flamethrower, because the flamethrower just fires all the time. But if you use like the laser or the fireballs, it'll launch 4 fireballs in one go, then leave you fireball-less until they exit the screen, which is fairly dangerous in this game, as it's fairly tough and full of horrible aliens. Anyway, emulated pretty well. I've not noticed any graphical problems with this. The bosses are different. This is a different boss to what I'm used to on the first level. This is usually the second level boss. But anyway, I do like this game. So that's good. Is it worth 150 quid to play Alien Syndrome? Absolutely not. So let's play something else too. There you go, look, I've had to rescue every single last one of these space idiots to get through this game. Round 2, huh? Back to the title screen. So to get to the title screen on the Mega Drive pad, you have to press, there's like a shoulder button and a start button at the same time. The shoulder button puts a credit into the game if you're interested. Are there any games that use the whole 6 buttons? I don't think there are. Crackdown is not really much fun on the arcade version. It's a lot harder than the Mega Drive one. And Esport here is also damned shoddy. I've found out that on one player, if you get to the final level, you can't continue. Can't continue on the final level in one player mode, which makes this game impossible, because not only are the graphics tatty, and sort of, although they're bigger, they're really badly drawn. Some of these backgrounds are awful. It's harder, and the level layouts put enemies in awkward positions where your character just cannot deal with them. It's fairly cheap, a coin grabbing experience. The music's, pretty damn funky. Got to shoot the fat man with the bin lid here. See, this is all very, futuristic. There's a dude with a bin lid and bad breath, and he's trying to kill you. Look at his gut hanging over his trousers there. He's a disgrace. Get behind bars. Look at this background, drawn by a 3-year-old. Yeah, this game is really ugly. The Mega Drive version is so much better than this, it's not even funny. Although the graphics are bigger than in this, they are oddly coloured and drawn by the art intern. Slob. Having said that, if you were to pay 20p to play this game every now and again, I'm sure you'd be okay with it. But it's weird that it came out so long after Shinobi, like a good couple of years, that it looks this bad. I think this came out in 1989, Shinobi's like 1986 or something. It's bad news. And Shadow Dancer, even though Shadow Dancer runs on a more powerful arcade board than Shinobi, it also looks worse than Shinobi. So yeah, I don't know how they managed that, but they managed it. God damn it, they managed to make a worse looking game 5 years later. Don't shoot the woman in the face, she doesn't like it. So this guy with a boomerang, bringing a boomerang to a gunfight. Crazy fool. No problem. That was a weird voice. This background is awful. It stinks. The Mega Drive version does take on some of these, the way these graphics are drawn. So some of the Mega Drive backgrounds are drawn in this kind of naive style, but it never really looks as bad as this because it's not as pasty. So anyway, do I recommend the Astro City Mini as a thing? Depends how much of the games in those lists you actually like. And like I said, a few of them are Mega Drive games. This isn't, obviously, although if they had the Mega Drive version of this game on here, it would be infinitely better, in my opinion. Look at that car. Look at the way that car's drawn in the background there. It's like someone's done it in Microsoft Paint or something. It's awful. Yeah, I don't think this is worth the money. I think it's a kind of cool device. It's obviously high quality. It's got a 16:9 screen in the actual unit, which is weird when all the games are 4:3. But we can overlook that, I guess. Oh, look at him. He's got very high tits. Dirty Duffy. Oh no, it's Dirty Duffy. He's handling illegal weapons. Bit of shimmer there on the graphics on that helicopter. So the Esport suit in this actually loses, he loses bits of it when you get shot, which is actually quite a nice graphical flourish. But when you're dealing with backgrounds this stinky, what does that matter? Everything's so pastel-y, it's just ugly, man. Anyway, back to the unit. The graphics in this game do cause me stress. The unit itself, 150 quid. You get loads of Mega Drive games on it, so there's multiple compilations from Sega with Mega Drive games on them, and yet they still stick them on this frickin' thing. You do get a version of Thunder Force 3 on here, which is a decent Mega Drive game. Thunder Force Arcade is the worst version of Thunder Force 3 that you can get, so that's on here. Shadow Dancer is just not a patch on Shinobi. Gameplay wise and graphically, it is degraded. Sonically as well, this music sounds weird. The more parallax scrolling doesn't make a better looking game though. Again, there's a Mega Drive version of this game which is superior to this arcade version in every way. The dog usage in this is very inconsistent. The dog is supposed to attack the bad guys. On the Mega Drive one, you could launch your dog. On here, it just seems to randomly sometimes attack. Other times, it just will not attack. And I don't know what governs that. There's bombs at the airport. Oh, look, it's Concorde. Oh dear, this guy actually burst through a window and stabbed me in the top of the head. That's pretty damn impressive. You just got to give it to him, haven't you? Yeah, I'll take that. You burst through a plate glass window and stabbed a ninja in the top of the head. You deserve that victory. Badly animated. You don't look or feel like a ninja in this game whatsoever. Go and attack him then, dog. Don't just sit there barking like an idiot. Why is this guy randomly throwing knives into a box? Video games. You'd have played. I played this in the arcade, and you probably would have played it in the arcade once or twice, but then completely forgot about it. It's like it's not a game. Unlike the original Shinobi, it's not a game that you were impressed by, I would imagine. That sound effect's pretty impressive, though. Anyway, Shadow Dancer. It's a middling game. It's all right. So over the last, I don't know, how long's Sega been around? 50 years, 60 years? Over the last 60 years, Sega have got many, many better games than this to put on this device, surely. Where's Outrun? Where's Power Drift? Where's Afterburner? They've got Space Harrier on here, they've got Rad Mobile on here, for fuck's sake. Where is the big hitters? Where are they? Don't know. We'll stick 3 versions of Mega Drive columns on here though, because people love columns. It's very strange. So to my mind, it's not worth 150 quid. So if you don't buy this, don't feel like you're missing out, because you're not. Would be my thing. Having said that, you do get Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder, which is a very fun fighting game. Golden Axe is also very cool. Altered Beast is mildly diverting. Shinobi is a classic. I love Shinobi. Space Harrier is cool. And actually, do you know what? I even got some fun out of Rad Mobile. The Sega Saturn version called Gale Racer isn't much fun, but the arcade version is a lot better in some way. Maybe it's just the draw distance, I don't know. But I've had more fun with the arcade version of Rad Mobile than the Saturn version. Oh, Ninja Magic. Crap, Ninja Magic. So this guy's attacking me by throwing gobstoppers at me. I've got Ninja Stars and Ninja Magic, and my dog's disappeared. The dog would love these balls. Yeah, that's maybe why the dog didn't come, because, you know, he would have been grabbing those balls, wouldn't he? Shoot all the ninjas. This is a bonus stage which isn't as good as the one in Shinobi, and I will give it this. It is better looking than the Mega Drive version. The Mega Drive bonus stage is one ugly mother. Ninja foot to the face. You failed. This music is a bit like Golden Axe, but doesn't suit the game. So anyway, let's play something else. Alien Storm. Alien Storm's alright. Cotton's okay. It is quite a hard shooter. Rad Mobile, like I said, it's just better than the Saturn version somehow. And I've played every time I turn this machine on, and I've had this machine for a while now. I do have a go on Rad Mobile. I don't know what it is. The draw distance is probably double the Saturn version, which helps. It's no Outrun, but it's alright. You got Sonic the Hedgehog there in the rear view. If you were going to put 20p in this in an arcade back in the day, you'd have had 20p's worth of fun out of it. It's not too taxing. It's kind of got, I suppose, impressive 3D graphics for the time. But yeah, it's no Power Drift. They could have put so many games on this this machine, which they just didn't bother. Even non-licensed things like Afterburner 2 would have been cool. Line of Fire, if you remember that one, that would have been okay. Then you get into licensed games like Super Monaco GP. I've never seen a really decent home version of that game. The Mega Drive one was alright, but the arcade one was something else, wasn't it? Hang On, Super Hang On could have been on here, but no, Sega weren't interested. I do like the scream when you wreck your car there. That's exactly the scream that I would do in real life. So yeah, don't mind that game so much. It's not worth buying the unit for. There's no doubt about that. Back to the main menu. Cotton, like I say, it's kind of cool, but it's hard. Arabian Fight is awful. An awful, tatty looking, ugly game. Let's launch it. It's a scrolling fire. It's got kind of zoomy sprites. The graphic style's awful. The animation isn't very good. And it's seizure inducing. It's fairly unsatisfying. Take the magic. The graphic style reminds me a bit of a Spider-Man game that Sega made back in the... I guess it was the 90s. But that Spider-Man game was great. This is not. It's grainy and ugly. And I don't want to play it. Well, and I have played it a few times. I just don't like it. Oh, they've got ray trace graphics. Oh, look at that. Awful. Awful. Yeah, we're not going to play this. It's not a good game. Everything you need to know about the game that you saw there, jerky graphics, flashing, limited movesets, that applies. Dark Edge is a 3D fighting game with 2D graphics. This is also awful. Apparently not available before on home console PC. And it's just shite. It's like Rise of the Robots levels of awful. You've got pre-rendered graphics. You've got a game camera which stays fixed and your character that you're controlling can go into the background. And when they do that, the special moves change. So you've got directional inputs for your special moves, and it changes depending on where you are on the screen, which is complicated and irritating. It's got awful character designs. Blood versus Thud. In the mud. And it's got some snazzy reflection thing going on here, but it's a genuinely awful game. So I'm glad they included it, when they could have included any number of other games. As they've got Model 1 emulation on here, they could have had Virtua Racing. Decided not to. Was Virtua on Model 1? They could have included that, couldn't they? That was Model 1. That would have been nice. I think Virtua 1 was Model 2. So we'll give them that one. Maybe. But there's loads of games Sega could have included on here. And just didn't bother. Classic Sega games. Never mind. We got Dark Edge and we got Arabian Fight. So, by my calculation, there's 36 actual games on here. There's the 37th game isn't really much of a game. It's like a crappy version of Pac-Man, which is no good. I would say out of the 36 games that are left, 50% of them are Mega Drive games. 3 of them are columns, so it's nearly 10% of the games on here are columns, which is madness. You get the arcade version of Golden Axe, which is quality. You get Golden Axe Revenge of the Powder, which is quality. I'm just trying to think of the highlights. You get three versions of Wonder Boy, and they are all different. So one of them is more like a platform shooter, one of them is a platformer, and the other one's like an adventure game. And they're all good games. Quartet 2 is like a side-on gauntlet, so your energy ticks down, and you have to get through levels as your energy ticks down, picking up different weapons through the levels. That's actually quite a lot of fun, that game. I do like that game. Very simplistic graphically, but it's pretty good. Altered Beast, obviously, the Mega Drive version is fairly well known. The arcade version has slightly nicer graphics and sound. Same game. Shinobi, awesome. Space Harrier, awesome. Bonanza Brothers is either your thing or it isn't. It's okay. You got 2 versions of Puyo Puyo on here, which is annoying. You got 2 puzzle games that are in Japanese, so you won't know what they're on about. They're also Mega Drive games. And here's Virtua Fighter, which is clunky in the extreme. It's slow, it doesn't control very well. The computer AI is cheap, but But having said that, it does look kind of nice at 720p on your old computer monitor. So that's what you get, really. A very uneven selection of games, a high cost unit with a nice joystick and some nice squishy buttons. You get HDMI out, you get 2 save slots per game, and it costs you 150 quid. Can't say I recommend it. I can't recommend it at that price. Virtua Fighter here does suffer from frame rate issues at the end of each round, which is not game breaking, but it's fairly jarring. It's sluggish as well. It's 30 frames a second, as the arcade machine was, but it doesn't help you when you're trying to pull off the moves, obviously. Like Wolf's spinny around move is very difficult to pull off in this version of the game. It's super hard. Even standard throws are difficult because you have to be exactly the right distance away from the opponent. It's fairly unforgiving. But I do like the flat shaded polys, light source polys. They look kind of nice. You can see that everybody's made out of cylinders. From Jackie's hair, which is made out of pyramids. They love their primitives. See the frame rate drop there on the old replay? That's right, Wolf, you tell him. Jeffrey here is going to kick my ass because he's learned from my last fight that I don't know any moves. So he'll just completely obliterate me with fast punches like he's doing there. But that's me, I'm screwed. Oh, he fights back and then he misses. Yep. Can't recommend it. You have to buy the joystick or the joypad, or have a Mega Drive joypad compatible with it to get the most out of it on a TV, which is annoying, and the selection of games is a tad woeful. Machine itself is a nice build though, can't deny that. So pays your money, takes your choice, and I suggest you don't. Just get a Mega Drive compilation on the whichever device that you've got, because most of these games are Mega Drive games anyway. Alright then, catch you next time. Ta-ra.